All right, so I just want to have a conversation here because we got a little bit of time. It's 3:52. We got about a half an hour, well, actually 33 minutes before the Eagles 49ers game gets kicked off. And um, I want to say there's perception and then there's reality. The perception has always been that Dak Prescott is successful because of other extenuating circumstances. It's never because that Dak's actually a good player. We heard when Dak, of course, was first drafted that it was because we had Zeke Elliott in the running game and so on. When we ended up getting Amari Cooper, even though we didn't have any great receivers, that Cole Beasley was our best receiver, that it wasn't that Dak Prescott now had a game player, a good player to be successful, that it was Amari Cooper, like Amari Cooper was passing the ball to himself and getting all the yards. It's always been Chris Taylor. Shout out to you, Chris. Welcome to Bizarre World. This week, Cowboy families rooting for the 49ers. Next week, 49ers fans pulling for Cowboys. Dogs and cats. Yeah, the dogs and cats will be mating. It is a crazy, crazy time. Um, but then, of course, we ended up having, no matter what, it's always the great talent or the best offensive line and stuff. And last year, of course, it was Kellen Moore. We had this thing, this conversation that Kellen Moore was the reason why Dak Prescott was successful. That now Kellen Moore, and even everybody would always say that Justin Herbert is a far better quarterback than Dak Prescott. He's got more talent, the upside is greater, and so on. And that Dak Prescott, has been helped like he's handicapped by having Kellen Moore and all these things. Well, Kellen Moore was thought to be the boy genius. You may recall how all of the talking heads said, it's crazy that the Cowboys moved on from Kellen Moore. He's a boy genius. He's an incredible offensive coordinator. They're the highest scoring offense in football. It's because of Kellen Moore. But the reality is Kellen Moore was there on the field with Dak Prescott his rookie year and could not beat out Dak Prescott. And here it is, Kellen Moore has now gone to who people deemed a first round great generational type quarterback. And that team, playing against the New England Patriots, scored, hold up for it, wait for it for a minute, a total of 6 points. 6 points. A quarterback who was thought to be great now with Kellen Moore looks like ass and can only score 6 points against New England. And at the moment, it looks like the Detroit Lions are throwing up all over themselves. 4th and 10, Jared Goff makes a pass. He's running for his life. All of a sudden, that crowd in New Orleans has come to life. That pass was literally like a duck. It was literally like flying like quack, quack, quack. I mean, it was like quack, quack, quack. It literally looked like a duck he threw. And so now they're punting back to New Orleans, which has lost Derek Carr, which may not be the worst loss in the world. That Jameis Winston has let him down the field for a score, and it is now 33-28. But back to Kellen Moore. Remember, people kept saying that the Cowboys want some more Kellen Moore, that they should keep Kellen Moore because he's great, and instead we're keeping Mike McCarthy, who's antiquated and sucks ass, and now we're going to see how bad Dak Prescott is. And mind you, that the Cowboys have already moved on because they got Trey Lance. Well, if you hadn't looked at the numbers, surprisingly, the Dallas Cowboys without Kellen Moore are still the highest scoring offense in football at 32.5 points. Now, the score, of course, the Washington game, I guess that'll help move Miami back up. So it's going to be basically a race between Miami and us. Let's see, they scored 42, so that might add 3 points. Miami may have taken it back with this game over the Commanders. That may be the case. But regardless of it, there was no drop-off in the Dallas Cowboys from Kellen Moore being gone. If, in fact, you would actually say there was a drop-off, the drop-off was in turning over the football. The Dallas Cowboys, without Kellen Moore, are a lot better off.
Saints lost to the Lions?
It's not over yet. Right now, they've got a chance with Jameis Winston. They were way behind getting killed. So don't call it a comeback. So now you look at the Chargers, which were a playoff team last year. Mind you, they did get 4 takeaways in the first quarter and had a 27-0 lead and still lost it with the generational talented quarterback. Now you look at the Chargers scoring 6 points. Be it a victory against New England, the coach probably being fired, and of course, for whatever reason, we hear, of course, that the Panthers may want Kellen Moore. Good luck with that. Alvin Kamara getting a big run. He's still running, bumbling, stumbling for 15 yards. And right now, you got New Orleans in the Superdome feeling it and ready to take this win. I still am one of those ones that people have always said that, the Cowboys, Colin Cowherd, should have let Dak walk instead of signing his contract and went and traded for Derek Carr. I don't really think Derek Carr is well liked in New Orleans. That's just my own personal feeling. And they seem to be responding better to having Jameis Winston out there. So there's that. So you tell me, Kellen Moore, are you glad we don't have him here anymore? Tyson Hill gets another 8 yards. So we've got New Orleans feeling it. And here comes Jameis Winston back on the field. 2nd down and 2. This is not good for the Lions if they lose this game. And we're still waiting for Philly 500. It is 4 o'clock. I don't know why. Philly's not on the line. They're about to have some stormy weather. First down, New Orleans. And the Broncos Nation, let's ride. Still has a chance. All right, we're 25 minutes away from the Eagles game. And still no Philly 500. The Commanders blown out like 43 to 15. They put the left hand up and they realized they didn't use deodorant because they stunk. Who are we? Stinky Commanders. Okay. But why don't you play the Philly drink? Okay. 2nd and 6, 3 minutes and 31 seconds left to go in this game. Okay. And that's all I have to say about Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore, Dak Prescott made you, without a doubt.